What happens when the man who once ruled hip-hop ends up in handcuffs? Sean Diddy Combs, the global music mogul, the party king, the man behind some of the biggest hits in the world, has just been sentenced to 50 months in federal prison. In a courtroom packed with reporters and flashing cameras, one of the most powerful men in entertainment stood trembling, not as a billionaire, not as a legend, but as a criminal. And what unfolded in that room has left Hollywood in absolute shock. This is the story of how Diddy's empire crumbled, and why this moment is about far more than just a prison sentence. Before we understand how he fell, we need to remember how high he once stood. Born Sean Combs in Harlem, New York, he was not born into fame or fortune. He built it. In the 1990s, he transformed hip-hop culture, founding the Bad Boy Records and launching the careers of icons like the Notorious B.I.G. He was more than just a producer. He was a movement. From music to fashion, from vodka to television, Diddy's name was everywhere. Forbes once called him the hip-hop's first billionaire. He threw the most exclusive parties, mingled with presidents and movie stars, and lived a life most people could only dream of. But behind the designer suits and private jets, something darker was happening. Something that would eventually destroy everything he built. For years, whispers followed Diddy. Former associates and partners spoke of wild freak-off, parties, disturbing power dynamics, and shocking abuse. But those whispers stayed whispers on until recently. In 2023 and 2024, multiple lawsuits and investigations accused him of transporting individuals across state lines for prostitution, using threats and manipulation to control them, and running what prosecutors called a criminal sex enterprise. At first, he denied everything. His lawyers called the allegations fabricated. Fans were split. Some refused to believe their idol could do this. Others felt the truth was finally coming out. Then in early 2025, the federal government charged him with serious offenses. And once the evidence started piling up, witness testimonies, messages, surveillance footage, the image of the untouchable mogul began to collapse. And then came October 3rd, 2025, the day that changed everything. Inside a New York federal courtroom, Diddy walked in wearing a dark suit, head lowered. This was not the confident superstar. The world knew this was a man facing the reality of years behind bars. As the judge read out the sentence, 50 months in federal prison, the room went silent. Diddy's hands shook, his voice cracked, and then something few expected happened. He began to cry. "I am ashamed of who I became," he said, voice trembling. "To my children, to the women I hurt, and to the fans who believed in me, I am deeply sorry." His children, seated just rows away, were seen wiping away tears. Some of his former partners and close friends refused to look at him. For many watching, it was surreal. A man who once commanded stadiums, now begging for forgiveness in a courtroom. But the drama didn't end there. Almost immediately after sentencing, Diddy's lawyers held a fiery press conference, accusing the judge of acting like a 13th juror, punishing him for conduct that was never proven in court. They announced plans to appeal, calling the sentence excessive and unjust. Meanwhile, online, the reactions exploded. Some fans felt sorry for him, calling the sentence too harsh for a first-time offender. Others argued it wasn't harsh enough, considering the lives he allegedly destroyed. Former collaborators distanced themselves. Sponsors pulled out of deals. Streaming platforms reconsidered partnerships. And just like that, the man once worth nearly $1 billion saw his empire crumble overnight. But beyond the headlines and hashtags, this story is deeply human. It's about the people who say they suffered under his power. It's about his children, forced to watch their father fall from grace. It's about the culture of silence in Hollywood, and whether it's finally breaking. And it's about Diddy himself, a man who had everything and lost it all, not because of fate or bad luck, but because of choices he made. Whether you believe his apology is sincere or just part of a legal strategy, one thing is certain. The story of Sean Diddy Combs will never be the same again. So what happens now? Diddy will serve just over 4 years if he behaves well in prison, possibly less with early release. His legal team plans to appeal, and more lawsuits may still be on the way. But even if he walks free before 2030, his reputation and in the empire he spent decades building may never recover. Hollywood has moved on before, but will it forgive Diddy? That's the question everyone is asking. This story is far from over, and what happens next could shake the entertainment industry even more. If you want to stay ahead of every twist, every courtroom update, and every shocking revelation, hit that subscribe button now. Because here at Shockloom, we don't just tell stories, we expose the truth behind the headlines. Subscribe now, because the next chapter in this scandal is coming, and you don't want to miss it.